Okay, game week, Wednesday. Excited to be here. I know the team is excited for the challenge, for the opportunity going down to Carolina. So the preparations are underway. This team I think is a good football team. I know Coach Rule well. Have a ton of respect for him and what he's building down there. You just look at them on all three sides of the ball. Their offense with Coach McAdoo. For us, there's a little bit of the unknown with Coach McAdoo being last in Jacksonville, calling it in New York. Obviously, was in Green Bay. So have some tape on Coach going back a little bit, and then obviously the preseason. But there's unknown. It's week one. That's kind of how that works. Defensively, with Coach Snow, he's been with Coach Rule for a long time. Very, very aggressive, high pressure rate. Good players at all three levels of the defense, so quite the challenge. And then special teams, Coach Tabor, who everybody knows was here. Really good coach, has sound schemes. So we're going to have our work cut out for us. So, again, it's Wednesday of game week, so a lot to get done, but looking forward to it. And then the team voted for captains. So we're going to have 5 season captains. We will still have a game captain that's unique to that week. Your captains on offense are Joel Bitonio and Nick Chubb. On defense, Myles Garrett, Anthony Walker Jr., and on special teams, Charlie Hewlett. So, I always think it's a big deal when the team votes, when your teammates vote for you. I think that says a lot. So I think those guys are all great leaders in their own way and will provide great leadership for this team. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Can you tell us any more about Conley? I know he's going to be out at least today. Is this
Just sick.
Just sick,
Yeah.
okay.
Expect him back.
the first 2 years you were not big on team captains?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on a bunch of teams. Sometimes you have team captains. That was a unique year. Just felt like it was the right thing to do with changing up the captains each week. So thought it was something that we should do this year. I would tell you, and I told the whole team this, you don't need a C on your chest to be a leader. You just don't. So I think leadership comes from a bunch of areas of your football team. But I do think it says a lot about those players that will represent us before the game and go out there. It says a lot about who you are.
It's been a while since Christian McCaffrey's been fully healthy, played a full season. But when he is, what is the biggest way he stresses a defense?
I would say just he can do it all, Chris. He's so versatile. He runs. He can run downhill. He can run on the perimeter. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. You can line him up a wide receiver. There's really not much he can't do. He's just a really, really good football player.
Somebody listed Anthony Walker as the starter on the depth chart. Mm-hmm. I mean, he and Jacob had been splitting it on the.
Yeah, Anthony will start.
Okay. Why will he get the start, and you still expect Jacob to play it?
Jacob's going to play a ton. You got 11 guys that are quote-unquote starters on either side of the ball, and then you have guys that play a ton of football for you and help you win. I would highlight Ronnie Harrison, going to be playing a ton of defense for us, going to be playing a ton of special teams. Is he quote-unquote a starter? I guess not, but to me he is. So, we look at it. You got 53 guys on the active, 48 up on game day. They're all going to play. We're going to need all of them. But obviously you're going to start with 11 on either side.
We talked to Nick Chubb today. He looks to me anyway bigger even than he has been in the past. Is that the case? And how much better can he be than he has been your first 2 years?
Yeah, I don't know that he's bigger, Jeff, just from a weight and lean mass. I'm not sure, but he looks great. He's in great shape. He's ready to roll. Obviously didn't play in the preseason. He's fresh. He's ready for a good day's work.
When somebody is sick like today, do you still have those lingering thoughts or fears of?
I don't know what you're talking about, Mary Kay.
I mean, do you take extra measures still to get him away from everybody so that this doesn't turn into a thing?
As you can imagine, we're just going to, with every player, staff member, if you're sick, we'll just always be smart. And but I don't want to talk too much about it.
Kevin, when you guys defensively prepare for Mayfield, do you look at any Browns game film?
Yeah, I think when you're studying any of the players, Tony, I think you got to look at the full body of work. And obviously with Baker, we had 2 years of work with him in our offense. You watch the preseason, but yeah, you definitely go back and study players. You want to have as big a sample size as possible to prepare for a guy.
Mayor, the play, it's not position, and is there a rhyme or reason just to how that plays out?
Yeah, just how we like to do it around here, just forced interaction.
Trying to get offensive guys with defensive guys, older guys with younger guys.
Yes, all the above.
You know, is he on pace still to start?
Yeah, he's practicing today. Again, he's hitting all the benchmarks, and we'll just continue to bring him along.
The format was get ahead early and then alternate shove and hunt, really just pounded teams, and it was extremely effective. Last year, circumstances didn't allow you to do that, so you had to kind of pivot and make do. So, is your goal to kind of get back to that philosophy now that here in year 3? Is that your?
I think honestly, Darryl, I mean, I think every team is trying to do that. You're trying to get the lead and then get into 4-minute offense. So, of course, for us, yes, whatever formula it is, you'd love to get a lead early and be able to run the ball when they know that you're running it. I mean, that's 4-minute football. But you gotta call and play the game that is called for.
Kevin, Miles Garrett seemed to think that you guys couldn't glean too much from the Pittsburgh tape from last year, the last game Baker played here. But how do you feel about that? I mean, can you kind of take from what they did to him?
No, I think, again, we have 2 seasons worth of Baker with us in this offense. But that was the Cleveland Browns offense, so hard to say exactly what the Carolina Panthers offense will look like. Again, with a new coordinator, you're watching a lot of tape and you're making some assumptions based on their personnel, but it's hard to say until we get to Sunday at 1.
Coach Baker, what's the inside track that you have, because you know what he's good at and what he's not good at?
Yeah, really good football player, has made a ton of plays, can make plays on schedule, off schedule, ton of arm talent. So we have our work cut out for us. We've seen him make a ton of plays, so we know it's a good football player.
This is going to be an emotional game for him and for your guys to a different degree. How do you make sure that your guys don't get caught up in that this is some kind of a grudge match?
I think for us, Tom, it's Browns versus Panthers. It's pretty simple. We got to prepare for their offense, their defense, their special teams. So that's really where our focus is.
Rules or anything because he's so familiar with what you guys do?
There's a little bit of that. We talked about it the other day. You don't want to overthink those type of things, but you understand that he was in our system for 2 seasons, so knows code words, hand signals, those type of things. So sure, you assume that their coaches know all of that as well.
Coaches are always looking for something to help their team get motivated. Did Baker throw a softball to you with what he supposedly said?
Yeah, no, really, no. The motivation is we're playing a good football team on the road, game 1. That's really all you need.
It's kind of relatively new phenomena that nobody plays anymore in the preseason. So every first game of the season has been a mystery. Have you found that there are big surprises in this new era?
Yeah, not really, Tony. I think, like you mentioned, we held some guys out of the preseason. Some teams don't play anybody. Some teams play a ton of people. So I do think week 1, the preseason, is a distant memory for a lot of people. I know we have guys that didn't play in the preseason that are chomping at the bit.
Who will be your punt kick returners?
We'll see.
I'd like to say that.
And if Conklin does play, is it unrealistic to expect him to be 70 plays ready?
Those are obviously things that we're talking about. But I would just tell you, with Jack, he has worked very, very hard this offseason. He continues to work hard, so he's progressing.
Can you tell us, do you know who they're going to be?
We have a good idea. I think it's kind of what we talked about previously. We have a bunch of guys on this roster that can do it. I'm very comfortable with multiple guys. Who we put out there the first time on punt, kickoff, we'll see on that.
Does anything that happened over the summer inform his role heading into the season, or is that water under the bridge?
Yeah. No. Anything that happened previously, to use your words, water under the bridge, but he's a big part of what we do.
And just get it on record that you did give different coaches play calling chances.
Yeah.
Are you resorting now back to regular season? You'll be calling?
Yes.
Coach, Cade's big leg, has that made you recalibrate your metrics for third and fourth downs?
Yeah. Now, I think we have a rookie kicker, so we got to be smart about that and understand he's not going to be perfect right away. That's just rookies, have to grow as the season goes on. Having said that, we think highly of the kid, so that will affect decision making. Sure.
These young wide receivers, from your perspective, ready. A lot is going to be expected of them, and they're young players, and a lot of them are inexperienced players. So how do you, from your perspective, balance the counting on them, but also the understanding they are young and similar to Cade, that they're not going to be perfect?
Yeah. Specifically to the young players, Donovan doesn't feel young to me anymore. Anthony Schwartz is a very, very intelligent football player. So I think that room as a whole is so mature and professional. I don't worry about, is it too big for them part of it. I think they're ready to go.
It's 99 before the game.
No. You will, Marla, but I won't.
Anthony Walker Jr. to have the Jacob Phillips with the ones for a lot of the offseason program and then be injured, and then here we are, he's going to start it, be a captain. What does it say about him, the way he handled everything?
Well, it gives me an opportunity. I'll talk about Anthony, but it gives me an opportunity to talk about Jacob. I think very, very highly of Jacob, the player, obviously the person. Just because Anthony's the starter, quote unquote, does not mean that Jacob doesn't have a huge role for us moving forward. He's going to help us win. Anthony Walker, as we've been around the last couple of years, there's a reason we kept him around. There's a reason we wanted him back here in this building. He provides great leadership, very good communicator, does a great job, running the defense, if you will. So excited about him, and you're right. He worked through injuries, but he's somebody that you can count on to stay engaged throughout. Whether he's in the huddle, on the sideline, he's always staying engaged.
James would be active for this game?
I think we're working through it. I tell you, he's very intelligent, so I don't think it'll be something that he can't do, but we're working through it.
Time to really get these defensive tackles up to speed. What about what they've shown you makes you confident in the depth that you have there?
Confident in
The rotation
Oh.
that you have there?
Yeah, Cam, I think those guys have worked very hard. I've seen it in practice. I kind of know what they're capable of. I think we've played good defense at that position the last couple of years. I think these guys are ready to do the same.